Welcome back to SBNC EXTRA, where we push past the boundaries of what's possible in the world of luxury mobility. Today we're witnessing something that not long ago would have sounded like pure fantasy. A motorhome wearing the legendary prancing horse badge. The 2026 Ferrari motorhome isn't just a new chapter for the brand. It's a full rewrite of what the words performance and comfort mean when they share the same set of wheels. So sit back, imagine the hum of 12 cylinders translated into a whisper-smooth hybrid turbine, and let's explore the most audacious grand tourer Ferrari has ever imagined. From the moment you see it, the Ferrari motorhome doesn't politely ask for attention, it seizes it. The proportions alone tell you this is no ordinary recreational vehicle. At just under 10 meters long, its sculpted aluminum carbon body is an essay in controlled aggression. Ferrari's designers have taken the fluid geometry of their mid-engine supercars and stretched it into something monumental yet elegant. The nose still dips into a low aerodynamic prow, framed by razor-thin adaptive LED blades that sweep backward like eyes focused on the horizon. Air intakes flank each side, channeling pressure toward the hybrid cooling systems, while a continuous LED strip traces the roofline, a glowing signature visible for kilometers after sunset. Walk closer and the craftsmanship becomes intoxicating. The side panels flow like liquid metal, using active aerovanes that adjust their curvature as speed or wind angle changes. Every surface earns its place. The sculpted flanks generate downforce even at motorway speeds, while retractable diffusers manage the turbulent wake at the rear. It's aerodynamic theater, but it's not just for show. Ferrari's engineers claim the drag coefficient rivals that of their Grand Touring Coupe, a figure unheard of for a vehicle with a living suite hidden inside. Even when parked, the motorhome looks alive. The 23-inch forged alloy wheels seem pulled directly from the SF90's DNA, each hiding carbon ceramic discs behind turbine-styled spokes. The prancing horse emblem floats inside the wheel hub beneath a transparent sapphire cover, a tiny detail that makes owners feel as if they're holding a piece of Maranello's racing soul. The stance is low, almost impossibly so for a vehicle of this size. That's thanks to Ferrari's adaptive maglev suspension, which lowers the ride height by 4 centimeters when cruising to cut wind resistance, then rises automatically on rough terrain or steep driveways. As light hits the body, the paint comes alive with depth impossible to capture in still photography. Ferrari calls it Rosso Luce Vivo, a multi-layer nanopigment finish that uses micromirrors suspended in resin to reflect both daylight and ambient LED illumination. Under direct sun, it burns with the same intensity as molten metal. At twilight, it softens into a rich crimson glow, echoing the light trails of an F1 car under floodlights. It's this dynamic color play that gives the motorhome its sense of motion even when perfectly still, a sculpture caught mid-stride. Move toward the front fascia and you'll notice the subtle reinterpretation of Ferrari's trademark grille. Instead of a gaping intake, a narrow ribbon of matte black carbon fiber cuts across the nose, housing adaptive aero louvers that open or close based on temperature, altitude, and speed. The logo sits suspended in the center, illuminated softly from behind, understated but impossible to miss. Below, an active splitter deploys at highway speeds, stabilizing airflow beneath the chassis. It retracts automatically when parking sensors detect curbs or obstacles, preserving both practicality and theater. The roofline is a marvel in itself. Composed entirely of electrochromic glass, it can shift from transparent to opaque in milliseconds. When the sun blazes overhead, it darkens to keep the cabin cool. At night, it becomes a window to the stars. Integrated solar panels along the perimeter feed auxiliary systems, climate control, infotainment, and the mood lighting that forms a soft halo along the motorhome's edges. The design doesn't scream sustainability, it whispers it elegantly through function disguised as art. Ferrari's obsession with symmetry carries through to the rear section, where twin exhaust diffusers frame a central light bar inspired by the Daytona SP3. The tailgate folds out automatically to form a small deck, finished in carbon-woven teak. Yes, real teak fibers fused with composite resin. This platform doubles as both a maintenance access point and a terrace for sunset views when the motorhome is at rest. Press a button, and the rear expands outward slightly, revealing concealed storage compartments lined with Alcantara and brushed titanium. A reminder that even utility must look exquisite when it wears a Ferrari badge. The lighting choreography is worth a film of its own. Unlock the vehicle, and the LED signature performs a brief dance. A pulse that travels from the front splitter to the rear diffuser, syncing with the heartbeat sound piped through external speakers. It's the brand's theatrical nod to life and motion, a pre-drive ritual meant to make every journey feel like an event. Even the mirrors, sculpted carbon pods housing microcameras, pivot outward with a mechanical grace that borders on hypnotic. But beneath all this sculptural drama lies practicality so subtle it's almost invisible. Ferrari's design team collaborated with aerospace engineers to conceal necessary seams, joints, and service points. The charging port, for instance, hides behind the left taillight, revealed only when a specific gesture is made on the digital key fob. The water and power connections are flush with the chassis, maintaining the visual purity of the design. And when the side panels extend, yes, this Ferrari has deployable wings, they do so silently, expanding the living space by almost 30% without breaking the car's silhouette. It's kinetic architecture executed with surgical precision. The first impression one gets isn't of a vehicle trying to compete with other luxury motorhomes. It's of a design language that dares to redefine what such a vehicle can be. The Ferrari motorhome feels like an evolution of the company's GT heritage, the ultimate expression of Gran Turismo, where long-distance travel becomes not a necessity but an indulgent art form. Every millimeter is calculated to merge emotion with engineering. You don't just drive it, you experience it like a living piece of kinetic sculpture. And then there's the sound, or the deliberate near absence of it. As the hybrid powertrain idles, what you hear is more like the low hum of a symphony warming up. The aerodynamic surfaces redirect air in such a way that even at 120 km/h, the cabin remains whisper quiet. Outside, the subdued note of the exhaust, tuned through active resonance chambers, hints at power restrained, waiting to be unleashed. It's Ferrari theater, distilled for the open road. Step inside and the world outside disappears in an instant. The door glides open with a fluid whisper, revealing an interior that feels less like the cabin of a vehicle and more like a private lounge designed by artisans who've never heard the word compromise. This isn't an attempt to make a motorhome feel luxurious. It's Ferrari reimagining luxury itself, translated through leather, light, and movement. Every surface seems to glow from within, every material feels alive under your fingertips. As you step onto the entrance platform, soft red ambient lighting traces your path along the floor, subtly matching your pace. The air smells faintly of Italian leather and cedar, a custom scent developed exclusively for this model, said to replicate the aroma of Ferrari's first coach-building workshop in Maranello. The floors are finished in a material Ferrari calls carbon silk, a hybrid weave of carbon fiber and recycled silk fibers that shimmers like liquid graphite. It's smooth, warm, and acoustically tuned to absorb sound frequencies that might otherwise echo in the cabin's vast space. Ahead lies the cockpit, a masterpiece of minimalism and power. The driver's seat isn't so much a chair as it is a command pod. Wrapped in hand-stitched Poltrona Frau leather, it contours perfectly to the body, adapting automatically to posture and heart rate. The steering interface floats in midair, suspended by a transparent carbon yoke that adjusts its angle based on driving mode. The display cluster is a fully holographic projection that bends around your field of vision, displaying only what you need: speed, power output, navigation, and energy flow. Nothing more, nothing less. When you shift into autonomous mode, the wheel retracts smoothly into the dash, leaving a clean expanse of matte finish aluminum accented by a subtle glowing Ferrari crest. Behind the cockpit, the living space opens like a gallery. It's not divided by walls but by light. Ferrari has replaced traditional partitions with translucent panels that change opacity based on time of day and user preference. In daylight, the panels turn crystal clear, allowing sunlight to flood the cabin. At night, they tint softly, offering privacy while still letting ambient lighting flow through like a moving current. The effect is surreal, a living environment that seems to breathe. The main lounge area wraps around the center, where a sculpted sofa arcs along the wall. Each cushion is formed from multi-density memory foam infused with cooling gel, upholstered in vegan microfiber suede that mimics the texture of Alcantara but remains lighter and more breathable. Embedded within the seat backs are directional speakers tuned by Ferrari's in-house audio lab in Medina, creating a 360-degree soundstage that shifts based on seating position. When music plays, you don't hear it, you feel it as if the air itself is vibrating in rhythm. The lighting deserves its own standing ovation. Above, a ceiling of woven fiber optics mimics a starry night, customizable down to constellations. Around the floor edges, diffused LED lines create the illusion of levitation, making furniture appear to float slightly above the ground. You can even set lighting themes. Gran Turismo mode bathes the space in deep reds and golds, Serenity mode washes it in cool silvers and blues, Luna Rossa brings a soft interplay of crimson and ivory, perfect for late-night drives along quiet roads. Across from the lounge sits a dining module that transforms with a single motion. Press the surface, and it rises, folds, and locks into a polished carbon fiber dining table surrounded by two retractable chairs hidden in the wall paneling. The tabletop is embedded with an induction charging surface for phones, laptops, or even a small espresso machine designed exclusively for this motorhome, naturally bearing the Ferrari logo. The cabinetry that surrounds the dining area is finished in brushed titanium, with handles made from recycled brake calipers sourced from decommissioned race cars, a poetic nod to Ferrari's obsession with heritage and reinvention. Move toward the rear and you'll discover the bedroom, though calling it a bedroom undersells what Ferrari has created here. This is a sanctuary. The bed frame floats above the floor, suspended on magnetic supports that isolate it from road vibrations. The mattress adapts to your weight distribution in real time, ensuring that even while driving your body remains perfectly balanced. Overhead, a panoramic skylight floods the space with natural light during the day, then transitions into a simulated starfield at night. You can set it to mirror the constellations visible outside or choose from celestial maps of famous Ferrari races: Le Mans, Monaco, Fiorano, each representing a moment in the brand's racing legacy. The materials chosen for the interior are beyond obsessive. Ferrari worked with the same artisans who craft interiors for its limited-run hypercars. The walls are clad in a blend of Alcantara, recycled cashmere, and lightweight carbon composites. The cabinetry uses hand-finished redwood veneer sourced from sustainable forests, each panel laser-etched with microscopic patterns inspired by wind tunnel data. The attention to tactile quality is almost excessive, yet it's this excess that defines the Ferrari experience. Then there's the kitchen, or rather, the culinary command center. Compact but impossibly advanced, it features a retractable induction cooktop, a built-in wine chiller with biometric lock, and a smart pantry that organizes ingredients by freshness level. The countertop is a single piece of matte carbon with a self-healing surface that closes scratches within hours. Even the refrigerator door opens with a soft, mechanical sigh that feels deliberate. Everything here is engineered for sensuality. Technology flows through the cabin invisibly. The Ferrari motorhome is powered by its own onboard AI, Cavallino Assist, which responds to voice, gesture, or emotion. Say you're stressed. The AI detects elevated cortisol levels from your smartwatch and automatically lowers the lighting, adjusts seat temperature, and plays ambient music to soothe you. Gesture toward the ceiling and blinds glide closed. Speak a destination, and the navigation syncs seamlessly with the car's autopilot system. You can even ask the AI for a summary of your trip statistics, energy consumption, acceleration patterns, and driving efficiency, all presented in Ferrari's signature red and yellow holographic interface. Every inch of this interior screams cohesion, a design language that doesn't just look expensive but feels purposeful. The transitions between textures are flawless. Leather melts into metal, metal fades into carbon fiber vanishes beneath layers of light. You begin to realize that the interior of this motorhome isn't trying to mimic Ferrari sports cars, it's evolving them. This is the next step in the brand's philosophy of human-machine harmony, a phrase that takes on an entirely new meaning when your machine can host a dinner, lull you to sleep, and then sprint like a supercar. The cockpit and living quarters are separated not by a physical barrier but by a shift in tone. In the front, it's performance-focused precision. In the rear, it's indulgent tranquility. Yet both are united by one seamless aesthetic: Ferrari's devotion to curves, flow, and the emotional pull of design. Whether you're behind the wheel or stretched out on the magnetic bed, you feel the same pulse running through the space. Performance. It's the heartbeat of Ferrari, the core of every machine that bears its name. And when it comes to this motorhome, the first of its kind in the brand's storied history, performance isn't just about power or numbers. It's about redefining what movement feels like. About taking something massive, heavy, and inherently grounded, and making it glide with the grace of a grand tourer. The 2026 Ferrari motorhome runs on a hybrid drivetrain that reads like science fiction written in Italian. At its heart lies a 4.0-liter twin-turbocharged V8 derived from the 296 GTB's power plant, paired with a tri-motor electric setup. One motor at the front axle, two at the rear. Together, they deliver a combined 1,180 horsepower and 1,500 Newton-meters of torque. That's hypercar territory in something that can host a family dinner. Yet what's remarkable isn't just the figure, but how the power is delivered. Switch on the ignition, and the motorhome comes alive with a low, rising hum, a sound tuned not to shock but to seduce. The electric motors take the lead, whispering you forward with zero vibration. You press the accelerator and there's no delay, no sense of weight. Instead, the massive frame seems to defy physics, propelled forward with instant torque that feels like a jet taxiing for takeoff. Within 3.8 seconds, this 10-meter Titan surges from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, a feat that rewrites the rulebook for luxury motorhomes. Ferrari's engineers call this new hybrid system e-Turismo. It combines the visceral thrill of combustion with the serenity of electric propulsion. In pure electric mode, the motorhome can travel up to 220 kilometers on battery alone, powered by an 80 kilowatt-hour solid-state pack integrated into the chassis floor. Once depleted, the V8 engages seamlessly, not as a backup but as an equal partner, blending its soundtrack and energy with the electric drive in perfect harmony. The transition is so smooth, so deliberate, that you feel it only as a change in emotion, from calm to excitement. Underneath the sculpted shell, a carbon titanium monocoque structure forms the spine of the motorhome. This architecture keeps the weight under 4,800 kilograms, almost miraculous given its size and amenities. Ferrari employed adaptive aerodynamics borrowed directly from Formula One: active flaps, movable spoilers and microsurface vents that constantly reshape airflow to reduce drag or increase downforce as needed. The result is stability at any speed. You can cruise at 180 kilometers per hour on the autostrada, and it feels as poised as a Berlinetta hugging an alpine pass. Then there's the suspension, a marvel that seems to cheat reality. It's Ferrari's MagneRide Plus system taken to the extreme, using magnetorheological fluid and AI-controlled actuators to analyze road conditions every 1.2 milliseconds. The system adjusts damping force not just per wheel, but per corner of the chassis, accounting for weight distribution, passenger movement, and even crosswinds. On rough roads, it glides like silk. In corners, it hunkers down, leaning subtly inward, keeping body roll virtually non-existent. The steering is equally otherworldly. Ferrari has introduced a variable geometry steer-by-wire system that adapts its ratio based on driving context. At low speeds, it's light and responsive, allowing effortless maneuvering through tight urban spaces or campsites. On highways, it firms up, offering precision that feels laser-guided. What's even more astonishing is how natural it feels. No artificial resistance, no disconnection from the road. The haptic feedback is tuned to perfection, letting you sense the road surface through micro-vibrations translated by actuators beneath your palms. And then comes the piece de resistance: torque vectoring. Each electric motor operates independently, governed by the central control unit known as the Ferrari Performance Brain, a quantum computing module capable of 1 trillion calculations per second. It reads traction, yaw, and driver input in real time, distributing torque instantly to each wheel. In a tight turn, power flows to the outer wheels to pivot the body gracefully. On slippery surfaces, the system modulates torque to prevent even the hint of slippage. It's not merely control, it's choreography. Driving the Ferrari motorhome feels surreal. You expect inertia, resistance, the cumbersome feel of mass. Instead, it feels eager, alive. It lunges forward with a precision that's both exhilarating and humbling. The combination of electric torque and combustion growl creates a symphony that could only come from Maranello, a sound carefully sculpted to blend mechanical resonance with emotional response. The result is neither silent nor deafening. It's musical. Ferrari's engineers spent over 1,000 hours tuning the exhaust and intake frequencies to create what they call the symphonic pulse. Inside, the cabin remains hushed. You hear the performance but don't feel its harshness. Outside, the note shifts dynamically based on drive mode. In cruise, it's a soft purr. In sport, a deep baritone rumble. In Corsa, a spine-tingling wail that would make any tifoso tear up. The motorhome's acoustics are tuned so that passers-by experience an auditory crescendo as it passes, fading into silence like a receding memory. Energy management in the Ferrari motorhome is as intelligent as its aerodynamics. The hybrid system uses regenerative braking, solar panel input from the roof, and kinetic energy recovery from suspension movement. It learns your driving habits, predicting when to deploy or recharge the electric motors for optimal efficiency. On long journeys, the AI calculates energy flow based on terrain and weather, conserving power on climbs, maximizing regeneration on descents. It's like having a silent engineer constantly optimizing your experience. Even the transmission defies convention. Ferrari has replaced the traditional gearbox with a continuously variable dual-clutch hybrid drive, a seamless system that offers infinite ratios between gears. It's both smooth and instantaneous. When you accelerate, there's no pause, no lurch, just unbroken forward thrust. Yet when you ease off, the system mimics the natural deceleration of a combustion engine, giving drivers the familiar rhythm of downshifting without mechanical wear. Handling is balanced with a grace that shouldn't be possible in a vehicle this size. The motorhome's low center of gravity, courtesy of its underfloor batteries, gives it an agility more akin to a grand tourer than a mobile residence. The steering reacts instantly. The brakes, massive carbon ceramic discs with 6-piston calipers, deliver bite and precision that inspire confidence. And when you switch to track mode, yes, Ferrari gave this motorhome a track mode, the entire system reconfigures. Ride height drops by 20 millimeters, the rear motors deliver maximum torque bias, and the exhaust valves open fully. Suddenly, this rolling penthouse becomes a weapon on wheels, capable of cornering at forces approaching 1G. But Ferrari hasn't forgotten that this is still a motorhome meant to travel, not terrorize. The Gran Turismo mode transforms the experience entirely. The suspension softens, the drivetrain prioritizes efficiency, and the cabin lighting synchronizes with the engine rhythm to create a sense of movement that's almost meditative. Passengers feel no sudden jolts, no vibration, just seamless motion. It's driving as an art form, kinetic serenity at its finest. Safety, too, has been elevated to Ferrari levels. The chassis integrates 12 radar modules, 7 cameras, and a LiDAR array, all feeding data into the autonomous driving system. The motorhome can self-drive through highways, parking zones, or even tight urban alleys with millimeter precision. But Ferrari ensures the driver always feels in control. The autonomy assists rather than replaces. When you take the wheel, the system fades into the background, letting you reclaim the joy of driving. Perhaps the most poetic part of the Ferrari motorhome's performance is how it balances contradictions. It's fast yet calming, massive yet nimble, aggressive yet serene. You could drive it across continents and arrive not fatigued but exhilarated, not because of the speed but because of how effortlessly it connects man, machine, and motion. This isn't performance for bragging rights. It's performance designed for emotion. And somewhere along a winding coastal road, as the sun sets and the LED accents glow against the crimson body, you realize something profound. Ferrari hasn't just built a motorhome. They've built a moving cathedral for the love of driving itself. There's an unspoken rule in the world of luxury. Price tags don't define experiences, they measure rarity. And the 2026 Ferrari motorhome lives far beyond the ordinary scales of value. It's not simply transportation or accommodation. It's mobility reimagined through the lens of artistry. But for those who dare to ask, yes, this level of audacity comes with a number, one that will leave even the most seasoned collectors momentarily breathless. The base configuration of the Ferrari motorhome starts at an estimated 3.9 million euros. But no two will ever be the same. Each is hand-built to order in a dedicated facility adjacent to Ferrari's Maranello headquarters, where master craftsmen assemble the chassis, coachwork, and interior components entirely by hand. Buyers can expect an average delivery time of 12 months, longer if they request bespoke modifications, which nearly all of them will. Ferrari anticipates building no more than 30 units per year. Exclusivity in this case isn't a marketing line. It's built into the DNA. Customization options are almost limitless. Owners can select from 10 exclusive exterior finishes, each involving a multi-week layering process that includes nano-ceramic coating and infrared curing. There's the classic Rosso Corsa, but also rarer shades like Argento Vega, Nero Lucenti, and a one-off Bianco Infinito that shifts tone under UV light. Interior configurations span from minimalist racing-inspired layouts to decadent Grand Tourer suites, complete with personalized monograms laser-etched into door panels or illuminated within the dashboard glass. For those seeking something beyond the standard palette, Ferrari offers what they call the Fuoriserie experience. This bespoke design program allows clients to collaborate directly with Ferrari's Centro-style design team, the same minds who craft their hypercars, to create entirely unique visual compositions. Whether it's a two-tone gradient echoing the livery of a vintage F40, or seat stitching that replicates the curve of the Fiorano circuit, the possibilities blur the line between automobile and art. Underneath the exclusivity, however, lies practicality that justifies its grandeur. Ferrari offers a lifetime maintenance plan, ensuring that each motorhome remains serviced by factory-certified engineers. The warranty extends 10 years, covering not just the hybrid powertrain, but also the integrated smart systems and electronic architecture. Even the onboard AI, Cavallino Assist, receives over-the-air updates directly from Ferrari's software division. It's not just ownership, It's stewardship of a living, evolving masterpiece. And then there's the ownership experience itself. Purchasing a Ferrari motorhome isn't as simple as signing a contract. Clients are invited to Maranello for a private consultation where their vehicle's design is visualized in a 360-degree projection dome. There, surrounded by the sound of a Ferrari V12 echoing softly through the walls, buyers select every detail, from stitch patterns to alloy finishes. It's as personal and intimate as commissioning a tailored suit from Seville Row, except here, your tailor also happens to design Formula One cars. Ferrari also plans a unique delivery ritual. Once the motorhome is complete, clients are flown to a private section of the Fiorano circuit, where their vehicle is unveiled in a theatrical ceremony under crimson lighting. Engineers walk them through every system, every control, every hidden secret embedded within the machine. It's not just a handover, it's an initiation into an exclusive fraternity of those who have redefined what luxury travel means. But price and exclusivity, impressive as they are, tell only part of the story. What truly matters is what this vehicle represents. The 2026 Ferrari motorhome is more than a status symbol. It's a statement, a declaration that performance and comfort no longer exist on opposite ends of the spectrum. It's an idea that says, why shouldn't your home move like a supercar? Why shouldn't your journey feel as thrilling as your destination? When you look at it from the outside, bathed in golden light, every curve alive with purpose, you realize Ferrari hasn't just entered a new market, they've created one. A category so distinct, so elevated that it stands alone. It's not a luxury RV. It's not a hypertourer. It's something else entirely, an emotional experience rendered in metal and motion. And make no mistake, it's not for everyone. It's not meant to be. The Ferrari motorhome is for the visionaries, the collectors, the dreamers who see travel not as distance covered but as life experienced at 200 kilometers per hour. It's for the individual who wants to wake up in Monaco, have breakfast in Milan, and sleep beneath the stars in the Swiss Alps, all without ever leaving their Ferrari. Driving it, or even just standing beside it, you feel part of something bigger. A future where mobility becomes a form of personal expression. Where technology, art, and passion converge in one seamless masterpiece. The hum of the engine, the glow of the lights, the hush of the cabin, it's not just engineering perfection, it's emotion distilled and amplified. So when the sun sets on your journey and the lights of the motorhome shimmer against the darkening sky, you know that Ferrari has once again done what only Ferrari can do, taken something the world thought it understood and transformed it into an object of pure desire. The 2026 Ferrari motorhome isn't just a vehicle. It's the ultimate expression of motion, mastery, and meaning. Welcome back to SBNC Extra, and as always remember, in the world of extraordinary machines this one doesn't follow the road. It creates it.